I would like to call the Highway and Building Committee meeting for Thursday, February 11, 2020 to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kinzinger? Mr. Carrico?
Present.
Mr. Hess? Present. Mr. Tolan? Ms. Weber? Mr. Featherling?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Present.
Mr. Dunnell? Mr. Hunter? Ms. Bryan?
Present.
Mr. Collins? Ms. Hudson?
Present.
Mr. Kenneth Smith?
Present.
Mr. Andrew Wheeler? Mr. Seroy?
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I don't see any public comments here, so I'm going to go straight to item 3 of the agenda. I need a motion to approve the minutes from January 14, 2020. Do I have a motion?
Smith.
Mr. Long, second by?
Second.
Brian. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Present.
No.
Oh, yeah, aye. Sorry.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Present.
Mr. Long?
Imitator.
Ms. Bryan?
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Hudson?
Aye.
Mr. Kenneth Smith? Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler? Motion carries.
Thank you. Mr. Roger, do you have anything to say before we open? Okay. I would like a motion to open the sealed bids. Do I have a motion? Mr. Rod Hess, second. Mr. Long, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Ms. Bryan?
Aye.
Ms. Hudson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler? Motion carries.
Mr. Roger, the room's all yours.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
First
Yeah, it's my turn.
proposal we have is for Kankakee County. This is for the purchase of a new pickup truck. Proposal I have is from Country Chevrolet. And Country Chevrolet's bid is $43,872.00. $43,872.00. Next is Kankakee County Section 21-00000-00-GM Supplement 2. This is for some pulverization out in the southeast part of the county on County Highway 53. First proposal I have is Dunn Company. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. Dunn's bid is $99,225.33. $99,225.33. Next is Engineered Soils. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. Engineered Soils bid is $49,209.31. $49,209.31. Next is Porter Brothers Asphalt and Sealing. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. Oh, I'm sorry, they have an affidavit here, just a second. Yes, they do have an ATC. Porter's bid is $40,335.50. $40,335.50. And last is Terra Firma Soil Solutions. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. Terra Firma's bid is $46,789.18. $46,789.18. Next is county section number 21-00000-00-GM supplement 3. This is the county's oil and chip maintenance. And the first proposal I have is from AC Pavement Striping. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. AC's bid is $671,731.24. $671,731.24. Next is Grosso Construction Company. It's got a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And an ATC is attached. Grosso's bid is $609,399.52. $609,399.52. Next is Kankakee Valley Construction Company. There is a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And there is an ATC attached. Kankakee Valley's bid is $866,886.58. $866,886.58. And last is Porter Brother Asphalt and Sealing. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And there is an ATC attached. Porter Brothers bid is $743,284.64. $743,284.64. Next we have Otto Township Road District, section 21-10000-00-GM supplement 1. This is for furnish and spread of aggregate in the township. First proposal I have is from Grosso Construction Company. They have a cashier's check in the amount of $1,000 as a proposal guarantee. And there is an ATC attached. Grosso's bid is $21,879.00. $21,879.00. Next is Hammond Wagner Excavating. Excuse me, I don't see a check unless it's in the envelope. They do not have a bid check, proposal guarantee attached, so I will not be able to read this bid. Okay. Next bidder is Toby's Construction and Cartage. Toby's has a cashier's check in the amount of $1,000 as a proposal guarantee. And there is an ATC attached. Toby's bid is $22,819.50. $22,819.50. Next proposal is Untitled Township Road District, Section 21-10, 137-00-SC. This is for seal coat work in the township. First proposal I have is from Hamm & Wagner. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And an ATC attached. Hamm & Wagner's bid is $131,976.74. $131,976.74. Next one I have is from Scanlon, and I see that I got a call that they were mistakenly left off of the bid tab sheet, but they did pick up plans. This is from Scanlon Excavating and Concrete Incorporated. They're from Kankakee. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. Scanlon's bid is $174,868.44. $174,868.44. Last is Toby's Construction and Cartage. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee, and they have an ATC attached. Toby's bid is $121,732.49. $121,732.49. And our last section today is Pilot Road District, Section 21-12, 111-00-AS. First proposal I have is from Hamm & Wagner Excavating. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. Hyman Wagner's bid is $119,964.57. $119,964.57. Next is Scanlon Excavating and Concrete. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee and an ATC attached. Scanlon's bid is $149,310.10. $149,310.10. And last bid is Toby's Construction and Cartage. They have a bid bond attached as a proposal guarantee. And they have an ATC attached. Toby's bid is $109,858.91.
All right. Yes, Mr. Hess?
I would make a motion that after review that we take the lowest responsible bidder.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Long? Roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Ms. Bryan?
Aye.
Ms. Hudson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Does anybody has any comments or any questions for Mr. Rogers?
Lucky 7. The pickup truck,
Yes.
state bid price, just purchased locally, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was an open bid locally for the state bid price. Just want to make sure.
We're comparing it to state bid.
We're comparing it to state bid.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments? Any other questions? Okay. Okay. All right. So I need a motion to approve to pay for the accounting engineers.
I'll read
Estim-
them first.
Do you want to read that first?
Yes,
Okay, thank
I'll
you.
read them first. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I got a few pay estimates this morning. The first one is for the county's general maintenance for 2021. This is payable to Compass Minerals America. This is for salt that's been purchased between January 20th and January 25th. And that amount is $61,292.28. Next is for Kankakee County's general maintenance for 2021. This is payable to Gallagher Asphalt Corporation. This is for cold mix picked up at their plant for patching. And that amount is $1,616.96. Next is for Kankakee Township, section 21-05-00000GM. This is to Champion Salt for salt that was delivered to the township, and that amount is $4,198.33. Next is for Kankakee Road District, section 21-05-00000GM. This is to Morton Salt. This is for salt that was delivered to their shed, and that amount is $3,425.17. Next is for our county, section 18-00305-00-BR non-MFT. This is for a bridge that's going to be replaced on County Highway 6, the letting that we had last month. And this is the final design drawings and structural bill from Engineering Resource Associates, and that amount is $14,723.50. And last is for our county BR funds for 2021. This is payable to Engineering Resource Associates. This is for bridge inspections that were due in, I think it was for December and January. And that amount is $1,588.00.
That concluded? Okay, thank you. So I need a motion for, so this bill, the bills can be paid. Can I have a motion from Zoom, please?
Smith.
Mrs. Smith?
Second.
Mrs. Bryan, okay. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Ms. Bryan?
Aye.
Ms. Hudson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler? Motion carries.
Thank you. Next on the agenda would be the resolution.
Okay. Before you this morning is a document called a border bridge agreement between Kankakee County, Illinois and Lake County, Indiana. There are 3 bridges on the border between Illinois and Indiana, and the structures belong to the counties. The IDOT Central Bridge Office and Federal Highway Administration has been requesting that we come up with a border bridge agreement as to who has what responsibilities for those bridges, and especially inspection. We did pay an inspection bill here for our bridges, but that bridge is on Kankakee County's list to inspect, and it's on Lake County's list to inspect. So we're both inspecting the same bridge. So and I guess there's been occasions, not with us, but that their consultant inspects the bridge and let's say they give it a 6, and let's say our consultant gives it a 7. Well, they're supposed to be exactly the same. So they only want one entity doing the inspections. So that's what this agreement is about. It defines who and what things each county is going to be responsible for. Now, what we did, this only includes 2 of the 3 bridges, because we all know the river bridge is still up in the air as to what's happening with it. So these 2 bridges, one is the Williams Creek Bridge, which is just north of the State Line Bridge. Lake County has jurisdiction authority of that roadway. So between Lake County and Kankakee County, we decided that they would get that bridge. And then the other bridge is on the Singleton Bridge, which is Momence Township. So Kankakee County is going to take maintenance and jurisdiction and inspection of that bridge. So that's what this agreement spells out, is who does what, when. Oh, and the state's attorney did review this document and gave his approval.
Make a motion to approve it.
Motion to approve by Mr. Hess. Do I have a second? Mr. Long, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Ms. Bryan?
Aye.
Ms. Hudson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler? Motion carries.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Mr. Roger? I hear none. Okay. Next on the agenda will be.
The route.
Anything else?
Yes, the next item on the agenda is a Route 50 Armor
50?
Road update.
Okay.
We've been working on this for a while with IDOT, and I did receive a pre-final set of plans. And I thought we would just throw up one page of the 400 pages of the plans, but basically it's kind of a messy document there. But that particular document kind of shows the intersection, and basically what IDOT has planned is 2 through lanes in every direction, a dedicated right lane in every direction, and 2 dedicated left turn lanes in every direction. This project will include a multi-use path, sidewalks, lighting, curb gutter, storm sewer, sidewalk, road widening, signing, but IDOT is taking care of most all the construction items. With IDOT, they do not pay for lighting, and normally they would not pay for the traffic signals, but because each leg of that intersection is currently a state route. From going west, it's an unmarked state route to the bridge that goes over the railroad tracks, and it's an unmarked state route from Route 50 to Lock Drive, which is where the Steak and Shake is. So when they do this construction, they want someone to take over jurisdiction. So they're doing all this construction, they're going to pay for it, they're going to pay for the traffic signals, but they will not pay for the lighting, and they will pay for 80% of the sidewalk. So there will be some local match in it, but this is a pre-final set of plans. Everything seems to be going smoothly. We are working with the communities to get these things worked out, but I just wanted to show and update everybody. It's looking like we could have a letting this summer if we don't hit any snags with right-of-way or any other agreements or anything. So it is looking good, and things have been going well. Yeah, are there any technical questions?
Any questions from Mr. Rogers?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Fedlin?
Mark, are those drawings available in your office to glance at if I wanted to?
Yeah, they are pre-final, so yeah, if you want to come by, I can show them to you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? Any comments? No? Do you have anything else, Mr. Roger?
Well, I do. I just want
Okay.
to get on to some of this. Mark mentioned there's some road use agreements that we're working on. I've had some pre-meetings with the municipalities involved, through the I don't know, about 8-year effort of Mayor Shore, to kind of keep reminding people that this needed to be done. I want to thank him for getting to this point, along with obviously the Transportation Department and Mark with all the data that documented beyond the growth at CSL that this was the worst corner in the county in terms of traffic. Not just the exit of CSL that's being addressed by the stoplight, but just in volume and time waiting, everything. It's going to be a massive intersection that should serve the county for quite a long time. And, so with kind of the cat out of the bag yesterday, so to speak, in the newspaper, I thought it was a good chance to at least let everybody know that, we're not to the finish line. I'd say we're on the 2-yard line probably. But we wanted to make sure that, if this project goes off, if at all possible, we could do it when the bridge is being done over the railroad tracks. That's going, obviously, the west leg, as we'll call it. It'd be better, as they say, to pull the Band-Aid off at once than to have 3 years or 4 years of construction back to back. Is just have half of it shut down end to end and then half of it shut down end to end, in theory. So that's, after talking with the experts on that, that's the best way to go, and I think the public would much prefer not to have to detour that whole route for 4 years. That would be a mess. The Mayor Bradley has been obviously on board with this. It's encouraging because you've got a township, 2 municipalities, and the CSL, and then the north sector where Denny's is and other things. That's all county area. So obviously we're the lead agency, but you can't do any of this without partners, and it's been everybody pulling on the same end of the rope on this. The common look and feel is something we're all committed to. So we don't want different colored traffic lights in different directions because there's different jurisdictions out there. So, you know, we have this regional approach to this corner as a, for lack of a better term, crossroads of the county. You know, there's all these different entities that meet, and it's nice to see when things work and work together. We wouldn't be there. We've obviously had some legislative help. We had $9.5 million, I believe, or $9.8 million in the capital bill. That's money I'm told is there that can't be swept or won't be swept. But, you know, obviously we'll reserve judgment until that day comes when the first check is cut. But once they break ground, we can probably, you know, wipe the sweat off our brow a little bit on that aspect of it. But I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to the infrastructure of the county. And I couldn't thank these other leaders, especially Mayor Shore and Watson, and obviously the township has been more than accommodating in this effort, Bourbonnais Township. So more to come, but as I call it, Mark is kind of our GC on this project for the county because he actually knows what he's talking about and he tells me what I should be talking about, but as far as the technical side of it. But him and Ben Wilson have been kind of bird dogging this for the county. And I couldn't tell you how happy I am that we're at this point, that hopefully these bids can get let. That's what we're shooting for.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mr. Roger, that's it. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Mr. Andrews. Good morning.
Next morning.
Morning, Wes.
Good morning. All right, first item on the agenda is facility due report for the month of January. We had 104 work orders in the system. Moving on to the financial report that you have in front of you there. Really not a whole lot to discuss there. You can see we're a little bit behind where we were at this time last year. Significant reduction in miscellaneous services, which is line item 56,400. That's going to be mostly outside repairs by contractors. That number will go up. So next month I would expect to see more there. The building improvements line item 87,510. You can see 52,4508. We discussed that at last month's meeting. That was primarily the improvements here to the front door at 189, and like I said, we discussed that. You can see line item 52,800. 1107 year to date versus 48902. That's due to the not having the telephones anymore, which we discussed at last month's meeting, or even previous to that. We did away with the phones for the employees, so that's the savings you can see there. And that's about it. So if there's any questions on the financial report, I'm happy to take them.
Any questions for Mr. Andrews?
All right.
I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Chairman?
Thank you. Year-to-date comparisons are sometimes misleading because you never know when the wheels are going to come off, so to speak. But what's your assessment of where we're at in that sense? Do you see anything that maybe quarter by quarter might be a good comparison, but month to month is tough? Do you see anything odd or anything you'd let us know about?
Not at this time. I'll have some stuff when I go through my building report. We've had some expenses out at JCDC. They're going to be coming through. Just going through some of this stuff here.
Okay.
We've got soft start motor, which we discussed about the elevator at the old jail with the generator. So that's going to be coming through next week. But like I said, I can touch on more of that sort of stuff when I go through my building report, but nothing glaring that I see coming down the line.
Anybody else?
Okay, well, moving on to the building report. First and foremost, snow, and lots of it. So, I mean, we've burned through 3 pallets of salt that we use for the sidewalks and steps at various buildings throughout the county, and then overtime. Overtime is going to be significant with the amount of snowfall that we've had. I was wondering, do we need to, there's 2 items on the agenda for the basement space plan and the elevator update. Is it okay if I discuss those inside of my building update?
We're not voting on that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what I'll do then, the elevator update at 189, I'll go ahead and discuss that now. That's on the agenda. And then the basement courthouse plan, I'll discuss that inside of my courthouse update here in a minute. So just so everybody's clear. First things first here, the elevators, which have been carrying on for some time here now. We finalized our agreements with Kone Elevator and PSI. They were both the low bidders on the work that needs to be performed for the elevators. So that's been done. I've been in communication with the insurance company. They have both of those quotes. So we should be good there. Kone, I talked to them a couple weeks ago. They're still telling me 2 months or more for lead time on all of the elevator components they're going to be required for the elevator upgrade. So that's really all I have on the elevator update. It's moving forward. It can't happen soon enough, and I'm doing all I can to continue to push that forward. LEDs, there's been some discussion lately about doing some LED light bulbs here in this building. Lori Gadboy had brought it up to me that she actually went out and bought a couple on her own and put them in, and there's no denying that the lights look better. The you know, for the working environment, it's much nicer, and not only the energy savings would probably be significant as well. So I'd had some discussions with the chairman this past week. What I'm going to work on as soon as I can get a minute, which it may not be till next week, is putting together a cost benefit analysis the best I can, because when we buy our T8s, the old T8 fluorescents, we buy them in bulk, and we used to buy them for all of our buildings. So, you know, the jail, downtown, JCDC, here, everywhere, where we buy in bulk and we store them here and as they go in. So it may be difficult for me to really zone in. I mean, I might have to go and count every fixture in this place, and multiply that times how many T8 fluorescents we would use in a year versus the LEDs. But that's something that's come up that I wanted to at least let the committee be aware of. Do you have anything more you want to add on that, Chairman?
Sure. Yeah, the request came in, and while, you know, obviously I do agree that does look better in there, especially people that are searching through the old record books in the recorder's office. So if it was just a one-off, you know, this committee said we don't want to do LED projects in this building, specifically voted not to do it. And so that's why we had to bring it back here. The only problem that I would see is then if everybody wants to change out LEDs, that's an unbudgeted expense. And so if you do it for one, you have to do it for all. So that's why I asked Wes to do a cost benefit, so we can say, will we save money in the long run if we were to work through the bulbs that we have and start to transition those out on a regular schedule? Because now we also have a lot of more inventory because we just took all those bulbs out of other places in other buildings. So again, we don't want to be caught with dead inventory that we're not going to use. That's a waste. So, you know, what's the transition on this? What would it cost? Maybe we have, you know, this is your year, this is your next year, over 4 years, we change this building on the people that want LEDs. Because there's an outlay of money. It's not like this other program where they basically covered that cost of changing out, and then we basically pay for it with savings over the years on our electric bill. That doesn't exist in this. So it's all new money. I want to make sure the committee knew that yes, we're going to try to accommodate, but it has to make financial sense.
Yeah, and to add on that, I have a decent supply of the old T8 fluorescent bulbs. We kept a good amount of them because all the ones that came out of JCDC, which there were thousands, we kept a good portion of that. So I have a pretty good stockpile of the fluorescent T8s on hand. So,
Wes, is there any ways to do some kind of recycling when it comes to the old ones?
I don't believe so. I mean, those old T8s they're really, I mean, they're cheap because a lot of people are going with the LEDs. So we usually get pretty good deals, and I usually have suppliers calling me saying, hey, do you still use these old T8s? Because a lot of the other buildings have gone LEDs. So as far as a recyclable value on a light bulb, I don't believe that would be very significant. Okay. All right, well, moving on, or is there any other comment on that?
Ms. Hudson. That was Ms. Bryan.
Mr. Bryan has a question?
Yes, would our PACE, that we discussed in the meeting on Tuesday, the PACE agreement help with this? Since we would be upgrading to energy efficient?
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
The PACE program's only for profit. We're government, so we wouldn't be able to put that on a tax bill because we don't have one.
Okay, thank you, Andy.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, moving on, we'll go over to the courthouse. First item I got there is with the snow. I got a call from the city this week regarding when we plow the courthouse drive, there's really nowhere to put the snow. There's sidewalks on the south of the drive, there's sidewalks on the north side of the drive, there's parking on both sides of the drive, so there's really nowhere to pile up the snow at the courthouse. So what we've done for literally, as I understand it, 15 to 20 years is the snow has been pushed onto Indiana Avenue and Harrison Avenue, and it takes up a parking spot or two. I was called by the city this week. They have an issue with that, and I wanted to just make sure publicly I thank Mark. Mark had his guys over there, and they trucked out, I'm not sure exactly, I was watching them, it was several truckloads of snow that we moved to a different county property to get it off of those two streets. So Mark, thank you for that. We had a minor elevator issue at the courthouse as well that was identified and repaired within a few days. Should be at no expense as part of our elevator maintenance agreement, which you folks are familiar with by now. We'll talk about the basement space plan. For those of you that are not familiar, we've been working through we have the potential, it sounds like, for a grant for some improvements, brick and mortar type improvements at the courthouse. And we've identified the basement as an area that we would like to spend some money because of issues that we have in the basement regarding access, regarding jury assembly, and regarding just, space needs in general at the courthouse. We met with Chief Judge Kramer and others, and the biggest issue that we have right now at the courthouse is jury assembly. That was identified as issue number one with the amount of people that we have in the jury assembly area. So I've discussed with the chairman and Doug Bright, our architect, regarding some of the storage areas that we have in the basement. We've got Sandy's got a significant amount of space in the basement that's utilized for storage, and the question came up, is that the highest and best use of that space in the courthouse, to be using it for storage? And obviously the answer is no. Excuse me. So I met with Doug Bright over there. We took a look at together with the chief judge some of those storage areas in the basement, and we already have plans from, I think, maybe to 2014. Is that accurate, Chairman? Close. We've got some plans from 2014 that a lot of this work has already been done, but he did not look at the storage areas specifically to see if we could get some more space on the backside of jury assembly, and then there's some more storage in the northeast corner of the building that we could possibly convert to open bullpen type office area, possibly for Sandy's group or other folks. But long story short, as long as we're going through this process of, this potential grant, the space needs down there, expanding jury assembly, we all thought it made a lot of sense to look at the storage areas and see if we could get more space. As long as we're doing all of this, does it make sense to look at the storage areas to see if we get more space for jury assembly and possibly some office areas as well? So what I have, like I said, the plans are already done, but I met with Doug Bright and he offered a proposal of $2,500 to look at those storage areas and see what we can do with them. Can we get more space in jury assembly? Can we get more office area down there for future growth? So with that being said, what are our thoughts on spending $2,500 to look at these storage areas to see if we can get more space down there. If we don't do this, then the storage areas just stay storage, and we go forward with the plans as already submitted. So,
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Federline?
I have a question for Wes. If we eliminate the storage areas, do you have areas where you store the stuff that's being stored?
yeah, we've discussed that. There's different properties, different, yes, we would find different areas, and Sandy is even talking about some things that down the road she may be looking at, doing some digital stuff with a lot of her files, which, I'm not going to really comment too much on that because it's not my place, but to answer your question, yes, we have space where they could move.
Okay, and then we're gonna have to maintain social distancing for a while probably, so if you're gonna have anybody in the jury assembly room, you're gonna need all the space you can get, right?
Well, yeah, that's, not only for social distancing, but let's hope when this is, beyond us, jury assembly was always tight. They were always tight in there. So
I was in there, I know.
with court cases on the rise, I believe this is money well spent, but this isn't my decision to make.
Well, we should try to make people as comfortable as possible when they're there.
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman?
Thank you. To that end, some of the things we're talking about are a dedicated entrance into jury assembly. So people don't have to come through the front security. There will be security going into jury assembly. A series of lockers for people to either bring a tablet or their phone, because you're sitting down there for long periods of time. So if you do get called to a jury, then you would put your phone and your bag or your coat or whatever in a locker, and then go through security to come upstairs. Which seems like that's dedicated toward convenience and comfort for the people that are serving on a jury, which is half of the frustration with people, I would say. And then the other part is the, I would say, 35-year-old plastic chairs in there that are very uncomfortable for anybody, not just me. Most chairs are uncomfortable for me, but so anyway, the grand idea here is we have this grant opportunity for access and use of the courthouse. If the money ends up still being there, and this committee should know, we're not going to spend money until we know we've actually got this in our hand. When they say we have $400,000 on a grant, that money could be swept at some point. That's not like the road project. I wanted to make sure people knew that it's an appropriation that was in the budget and it's not in the capital plan. So we have to be careful on that. And then, long term, if you look at that whole project, we also need to have some type of holding in the basement for people that are going up to trial. We don't want them sitting in the hallways as much as possible or in judges' chambers, so we're working with the judges on that too, because you have to come up with a system to get them up and down. So it's a long-going process that would be pretty much, I want to say, the end of upgrades at the courthouse, but it's a continuation of the 2-year process we've had on actual work, and then the planning that went on for a couple of years before that. So I hope it comes to fruition. We're going to plan like it is going to happen, and we're really close on the drawings. So that's what this 2,500 is, because we talk about prime real estate for storage. We shouldn't put that in the basement of the courthouse. That could be off-site. We need that for other things there. So that's kind of what we're talking about.
Okay.
All right.
Mr. Duvall has a comment back there.
I assume that this won't be happening right away. This is the planning stage. The area that you're going to has some permanent wiring that wires the whole east side of the building. So it's imperative that during any planning you consult me with that, because it cannot be moved. So same with some of the part on the west side. So that needs to be taken into account. I believe the prior plans that happened years ago too, they didn't take that into account. So letting you know, there are some things because of the uniqueness of that weird, shouldn't call it weird building, but the layout, there's some uniqueness to that.
Mm-hmm.
It was conduit was pulled. It's kind of, cause it's in place, it would cause a nightmare to try to do it.
And we won't be using all of it. Some of it's not usable because of conduit and ductwork.
I assume that, but
boiler piping and So
I heard you guys talking about it. For me not to tell you during that would be wrong. So I'm just saying, when you take it, and I assumed you're not doing this overnight. It's planning stage, but I wanted to let you know there are some key parts that would take sections of the building out if you did move it. Wes and I usually talk about things anyway, but since you guys are planning, I wanted to let you guys
Right.
know about that.
Thank
That's
you.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, Mr. Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would make the motion that we go ahead and spend that money, having been a juror twice recently, and experienced that down there. It needs to be looked at, it needs to be addressed, and planning is always a good thing.
Do we need to vote on this, Andy, or?
I don't know if we can, because it's not specific on the agenda.
It's not
It is on the agenda.
It says courthouse basement space plan.
That's what it was for.
It's not a descriptive of what the motion is.
Okay.
So, but again, you could do.
Well, we've done this before where,
If I could say it's head nod, because finance committee approves the bills anyway.
Okay.
So if this
Right.
committee just says, yeah, go ahead, then finance committee would approve. or
That
not
was
approve.
the
So what you're
angle.
suggesting is to send it to the finance committee?
Well, no, we just give him the head nod, and then when the bill comes, I mean, it's $2,500 as well within his budget. So
Right.
it's not, we don't have to bid it out, so he's just making the committee aware.
Yeah.
And in order for us to access the 400,000, we at least need to say, yeah, that's reasonable, move ahead. You know, with just talking to the committee.
Right.
If everybody agrees, is
Yeah.
it within his budget, so we don't have to make a motion? or
Exactly,
vote?
exactly. And we really couldn't either, because it's not
Yeah.
specific.
And
on
that's,
the
I
agenda.
talked to Anita on that yesterday, and that
Yeah.
was what we were expecting.
Okay.
So,
Everybody okay with that on Zoom?
all right, very good.
Thank you.
Just a couple more things as far as the grant goes. Big thank you to Ben, who just walked in. Ben has been assisting, you know, the grant money. It's not like you just fill out a one-pager application and then the money shows up at the door. It's very involved. You know, I looked through it, did the best I could with it, and he's assisting, and then Chris Kerner in finance is assisting as well with the budget spreadsheet. That's about a 20-tab document in Excel. So both of those guys are working together with me, and I'm going to meet with Ben after this meeting, and we're going to go over a few things with regards to the project. So he can, so he'll be better equipped to fill out some of that paperwork. So thank you to both of those guys. Last thing at the courthouse, we have, you know, with the state's attorney that has continued to grow up there, we've always had some power issues in the state's attorney's office. So we did go ahead and add a breaker for them in the state's attorney's office. That was completed a few weeks ago to, you know, to make their working environment a little bit better there. Moving on, annex and the old jail. We talked at this committee a couple times about the soft start motor on the elevator at the old jail. That's going to be started next week on Wednesday. Elevator's going to be down for 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday. And if you recall, this is because when we're on generator power and that old elevator fires up, the generator bogs down. It doesn't shut off, but it struggles. So this soft start motor will alleviate that and let the systems run as they should at the old jail. We've also been painting, or we haven't. We've been buying some paint, and Corrections has been doing some painting over there as well to spruce the place up a little bit. That's much needed. Public Safety, JCDC, Andy, to your point, you'd asked about the any expenditures coming down the line. We've had some issues out there with our kitchen equipment, the conveyor belt, the conveyor motor in the kitchen, and a lot of these components out there are all original to the building, so they're, you know, over 15 years old, a lot of them. So it's not entirely surprising that you know, the conveyor belt motor went out. We got that replaced. It's going to be about $2,000 to $3,000 for all the parts, but we did it in house. We were able to do that with our staff, so we didn't have to call anybody from any outside contractor on that. So been very busy between the elevators, the insurance claim, the grant, the courthouse plan, the snow. You know, you go down the list. You know, it's been a busy couple months. So, you know, thank you to my staff for what they do, and then obviously the assistants and the folks that have been helping out with some of this other stuff. So thank you to Mark, Ben, Chris, and everybody else. So that's all I got.
Thanks for your hard work.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Winters? Yes, Mr. Chairman?
Thank you. And this is really more for like the committee to chime in. There's a couple of things I was talking to Wes about when the city of Kankakee called us about the snow piles, the ones that we haven't heard from them in 25 years on this issue, and then
Right.
out of the blue we do. So we're gonna spend the money to go ahead and truck that snow over to a vacant lot down the street that we own. So we're gonna get that off of the parking space for them. But I do need to see if you can reach out and see what the committee feels about, because this alley out here, I stopped calling the city a couple years ago. It needs to be completely resurfaced and redone. It's a hazard out there. There's potholes in it. It's cracked. People are tripping and falling out here. I don't know how the committee feels when you walk across that parking lot or that alley, but it's not an alley, it's a road. And I'll get to that in a second, but that whole thing needs to be fixed by the city. So I was thinking if the committee sees it, if you wouldn't mind if the West calls and gets them to address their problems. So while we address ours. The other thing associated with that is people try to avoid this stoplight by turning left as they're heading east and going down this alley about 40 miles an hour.
Yep.
I think we should reach out to IDOT to put some type of a left turn island or something out here that says no left turn down this alley and shut it down, because what they're doing is they see that light's red and they just zip across. We've had employees hit in the past, and now it's time to address what's going on here. So I think that's Mark Rogers may have a better idea on this, but is that a state thing? Because Court Street's a state route. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'm dodging cars there left and right, and they're all from the left side. They just try to cut in front of that light. Do you see the same thing, Mr. Hess? Yeah. It's been going on forever. So does the committee have any thoughts? I just want to throw it out there because I didn't want to start these conversations without knowing everybody has the same concerns.
Mr. Bryan has a comment or question.
Yes, I agree with what Mr. Wheeler is saying. And the other end of the alley, if you're exiting on the north end of the alley, the pavement has huge dips and hills in it, and it's awkward at best.
All right, so
Anybody
Wes,
else?
between you and Mark, is that okay?
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
you guys make some calls. No pressure.
Right.
No pressure.
I got it.
Anything else?
Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to old business. I need a motion to approve the vending
John needs to address it first.
John needs to address first, okay.
Right.
Okay, so I'll have John to address that first.
Sorry, I should have told you that before.
It's all right, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. On the vending contract, the law, the ethics law and state statute prohibits county officials or public officials from having contracts over $30,000. This particular contract with number one, Wes isn't a public official. The amount itself, I think, is it's $800. Is actually under that. Legally, I don't find that it's a problem. As far as appearance sake, that's of course up to the board as to how you feel about that. But legally, there is not a problem to the contract.
If I could, I want to, there's some background that was skipped over. Before Wes became maintenance director, he bid and won the contract for a couple of vending machines. And again, the amount was $800 or something like that a year.
Yeah, it's not a...
And it's an open bid process, and we just had another one. And so that's what I think John is speaking to, as far as, we're not even close to any thresholds or anything like that, but he wanted the state's attorney's office wanted to weigh in on what may be or may not be problems with the situation.
Okay. So is the committee comfortable with continuing with this and to issue the contract to the alternative vending?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Fedlund?
I'd like to make a motion we do that. I haven't heard of any or know of any problems that we've had with anything that the vending company has done previously. in the past, so they have a track record to go by also.
There's something else, right?
Okay,
There's nothing else.
I have a motion by Mr. Fedlin. Can I have a second? Do I have a second?
Second, Smith.
Mrs. Smith? Roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Aye.
Mr. Hess?
Aye.
Mr. Featherling?
Aye.
Mr. Long?
Aye.
Ms. Bryan?
Aye.
Ms. Hudson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Wheeler? Motion carries.
Thank you.
I have a question. Sure.
Mr. Chairman?
The owner of the company is listed as Walt Andrews on this bid, but I thought it was Wes.
It is Wes, yes.
Okay, so they're in good standing with the state?
Right, they are in good standing with the state. As far, the corporation is in good standing with the state. The owner pursuant to the state record shows that it's Wes.
Okay, all right, that's what I was curious, because, yeah, okay.
Any other comments? Any questions? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Moving on. Any new business to come before this committee? Any new business to come before this committee? Any old business to come before this committee? Any new old business come before this committee?
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion to adjourn.
Motion
I
to
second
adjourn by
that.
Mr. Hess,
I'll second that.
second by Mr. Federlin. Everybody in favor signify by say aye.
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 Anybody oppose the same sign? Motion adjourned. Have a good day.